Hello, Abuja. You are listening to 93.7 Citizen FM, the latest radio station based in Nigeria's capital. Our station seeks to broadcast a broad mix of culture and views with priority given to development programming to enable residents share ideas and opinions, music and drama. At Citizen FM, we believe in progressive talk and solution-driven conversation. Our aim is to build a united Nigeria by bringing people of diverse culture together through communication. Enjoy listening to 93.7 Citizen FM. We are more than just a radio station. We are a part of your life.
Investigations, special reports, analysis, and breaking news. Premium Times, a leading multimedia news platform, brings to you every minute stories that helps you make informed decisions and hold public officials, individuals, and organizations accountable. We have cartoons, videos, podcasts, and other interesting content for your delight. For timely update on politics, entertainment, sport, and business, visit our website on www.premiumtimesng.com and follow us on all our social media platforms. Don't miss out.
We teach girls shave. Close your legs, cover yourself. We make them feel as though by being born female, they're already guilty of something.
So I think right now we have the chance to be heard, and that's why we're doing it. We're all doing it because we're asking to try and elicit change.
No woman should sit down and allow a man to speak about her reproductive rights.
But it is about opening spaces for other women and not to be seen as token, and that because I'm a woman, I'm only speaking about women at the table. No, I'm speaking about side of the table that is empty and that women have to be there. So
I want us to leave this world better than we found it. And how I choose to affect change is by speaking up, by being the first, and by being the dominant.
Over 4 billion of the world's population are girls and women, also faced with challenges that affect our world and contributing solutions to them. Let's have conversations and get some answers to them through their eyes and voices. Tune in to Perspectives, reaching from climate change, politics, health, the economy, and lifestyle on Citizen FM 93.7 Abuja. Weekdays from midday. Perspectives. Conversations that matter.
Abuja. Wake up. Reach out. Speak up. Speak out. You are the voice of a new generation. And this is your station. Talk Radio 93.7 Citizen FM.
Yes, thank you for being part of this program. Thank you for joining us on Insights on Citizen FM 93.7. My name is Lawrence Umoette. It's still the season of politics. It's still the season of shocks, upsets, outrage. It's still the season of so many things associated with politics, especially the way politics is played in Nigeria. In what may be described as the biggest upset of the general elections so far as the governorship election is concerned, and the PDP candidate in Zamfara State, Dauda Lawal has unseated the Zamfara State Governor Bello Matawalle. INEC declared Lawal governor-elect with a total of 377,726 votes after he defeated Matawalle of the APC, who polled 311,976. Also in Benue State, INEC declared the governorship candidate of the APC in that state, Reverend Father Hyacinth Alia, as the winner of the March 18 election. In Borno State, the candidate of the APC was declared winner. The heated governorship race finally ended in 24 of the 28 states that participated in Saturday's poll, with Kano State playing host to a historic win for the New Nigeria People's Party. And so that's how there are a lot of other results that we will get into in the course of the program, and there are a lot of other issues we will also take some deeper look in the course of the program. And my guest is Dr. Law Mefo, who is a forensic and social psychologist. Dr. Mefo is also a media and communication strategist. Dr. Mefo, thank you very, very much for giving us your time this morning on Insight.
Thank you, Lawrence, for hosting me. Good morning, Nigerians.
Good morning, Dr. Mefo. And you can join our live stream on YouTube by simply typing in Insights on Citizen FM 93.7, and you can also listen to us online on www.citizenfm.ng, and not forgetting that our social media platforms are still available for your interaction. On Facebook, you can join us at Citizen FM Abuja, on Instagram at Citizen FM 937, and also on Twitter at Citizen FM 937. So that's how it's going to be on the show. We are going to look at some critical fallouts from the governorship and the state assembly election as the results continue to come in. I think we have just less than 4 states remaining before we wrap this up. But Dr. Mefo, before we even go into the details of some of the issues, let's have your general assessment of this set of election.
Yes, my overall impression of the governorship and the state assembly election, well, for me, is the way the French would put it, comme ci, comme ça, not too good, not too bad. I think is basically a reflection of what happened in the presidential and National Assembly elections last 3 weeks. I say so because all the irregularities that marred the presidential elections are still were still very noticeable. In fact, for me, the desperation was even more in the governorship, and the collapse of election security was more obvious in so many places, and exactly in the states where election insecurity was a big challenge in the presidential election. We could see that places like Lagos, Rivers, one or two states in the southeast like Imo, you come up north, you see the challenges in Kano, and here and there. And one had expected that the police, being the modern security agency in election security, every other agency comes in to assist the police, including the army. I had expected that the police to be a lot more proactive, though I must say that they were, in a good number of places, But they didn't find their rhythm in a place like Lagos. And we could see that the hostilities, were there. Those who threatened some ethnic groups, they made good their threats. And vote suppression was very obvious. A lot of people were harassed. A lot of people were beaten up physically. And one or two persons even died in a place like Lagos. If we go by the reports of, one or two governorship candidates in that place. But overall, I should say that, we have actually delivered. Please, we have delivered. We have delivered on governorship to the 4 states, and of course we have 4 to go. But you see, one thing keeps surprising me. Why is it that we allowed beavers that was upheld to be the game changer to be subverted here and there? You see, even in presidential election, all the arguments about uploading the polling unit results and all that wouldn't have arisen if beavers itself did the basic work of even snapping the results. That is one. Another thing is making sure that the electoral officers really did their work without compromise. A lot of them were harassed. A lot of them were intimidated. A lot of them were taken away from the polling unit, to somewhere else. And the party agents were not allowed to come into some collation centers. There, anything can happen. Beavers can receive new figures, and the ballot boxes can be stuffed with ballot papers. Giving rise to a new figure altogether that is not exactly what the people voted at the polling unit. I think that some of these things happened because, again, like I said, failure of election security. The police allowed these things to happen. You see, just one line. You see, unless the police and INEC play a very neutral and decisive role, you cannot have free and fair election. That is just what this whole experience has taught me. And I believe that Nigerians have also, come away with such conclusions.
Okay, Dr. Mefo, it does look to me like every political party is talking about the big ones. Every one of them played the game, in quotes, the game of rigging, of muscling out opponents in their strongholds and everything. Because what will you say to the big parties, especially the PDP and the APC, crying where they lost and rejoicing in where they won, no matter the outcome or no matter the processes? Some people believe that it was a game of the survival of the fittest. What does this say to our politics, our kind of election process?
That's the point I am just making. You see, in a football match, why you have a referee is to moderate the process. In an election, you have an umpire, which is the Electoral Commission, our own INEC. Their job is to moderate the process. And then you must have law and order. You must have law and order. That way, the umpire will be able to do his or her work, and then you have ad hoc staff of INEC free to do their work. Most of them are youth corpers, young Nigerians who are trying to serve their fatherland. But the two institutions that will make this work, their performance, for me, was below par. INEC And the police, this is very fundamental. You see, it is the police that will ensure law and order. One thing we must all understand is this: the world over, politicians want to win by fair or foul means. It's not a Nigerian thing. That is why you have very strong institutions that will stay there to ensure a level playing ground for all the contestants. That is why you have to have election security that will be able to deal with any form of disruptive behavior. Any form of disruptive behavior. But we saw in many instances where some states were just abandoned to the dictate of the governors, and they do as they wanted. We saw it in Lagos, we saw it in Rivers, we saw it in Imo, we saw it in Ebonyi. We saw it everywhere. And why is this so? It is so because it does appear that the police is disposed to allowing whatever political party that is controlling a state to, have their way. It ought not to be so. If you check what happened in a place like Kano, where NMPP won, it took ruggedness of the members of the NMPP to fight their way through, and that way, eventually, the will of the majority of the residents and the electorate you find in Kano prevailed. But in many places, we didn't find that. What happened in Lagos and Rivers, particularly, too pathetic.
Okay.
And and these are two key major states in Nigeria. Why didn't they allow the people to express themselves? The people that won, or the people that have been declared as governors-elect, still would have been the governors-elect if their candidatures did not happen to be the preference of the people.
Okay.
The will of the people have been subverted in many instances, and I believe INEC and the police could have stopped it. They could have averted it, but they didn't.
Dr. Mefo, two things stood out for a lot of people after the election this time around from the angle of INEC. One, we saw in some instances during the collation process that the collation was halted, and then they asked for a review of certain results from some local governments, and they had to take a break, go through those things, and come back. That's one. Two, the results were uploaded on time. These two things were absent during the presidential election. What do you think happened? Hello, Dr. Mefo. I don't know. Can you hear me, Dr. Mefo? Okay, I think we're having some problems. We take a short break, and when we return, the program continues. It's still Insights on Citizen FM 93.7, and we are looking at the governorship and assembly elections. My guest has been Dr. Law Mefo, who is a psychologist and also a media teacher. I will be back after the short break. Please don't go away. Thank you for staying tuned. It's still Insight on Citizen FM 93.7, and we are taking a look at the just concluded governorship election and the state assembly election. And my guest has been Dr. Umoette, who is a forensic psychologist, is also a policy analyst and media and communication strategist. We lost him a while ago, but he's back online. Thank you so much, Dr. Umoette.
Yes, I'm back here.
Yes, before the line went off, I was saying that after the conclusion of the governorship election on Saturday, two things stood out. One, in the process of the collation, we had instances where collation was halted and they asked for a review of certain disagreements during the process, and this was looked into. Two, the results were uploaded on time. These two things were missing during the presidential election.
Yes. Yeah, you see, that is why you have less disputes in most of the states, because they tried to upload the polling unit results to the viewing portal. What that means is that the results arrived even in advance, and those who were collating at the raw materials to work with. But even at that, I still don't know why such disputations that we saw, because if the results were declared at the polling unit and copies given to party agents, there will be no basis for dispute, even at presidential level. I also think that we are missing something here, because the state collation officer doesn't seem to have the power to cancel any result that has emanated from, say, local government. In other words, I don't know whether we have actually paid attention to the first report. Who exactly is responsible for collation of results at the what level? How job staff or core INEC staff, and if you check the number of wards you have in Nigeria, 8,812. Do you really have up to 8,000 INEC staff? Because that manipulation really takes place. So by the time you come to state and national level, there is little or nothing the collation officers can do at that level, because they have to work with the results that came from the local government. And local governments are working with the results that came from the wards. So who carries out the collation of results at the what level? Nobody is paying attention to that. That is where you need very serious-minded people. All the professors you have as returning officers at the state and federal level. To be honest with you, that is not even where we need them. You need them at the wards. That is where the manipulation is taking place. Nobody talks about those who handle the first collation. And because I noticed that a lot of places, the INEC officials and even party agents are taking away from the polling unit where the results ought to be collated, announced and snapped and uploaded. These things didn't happen in so many places. Now, if you go from there to the ward collation, and you are not sure that the figures that will be collated there are really circumcised, whatever would happen and state will have to be corrupted, because it has already the figures had already been distorted at the ward level, which is the first collation point. The point I'm trying to make is this: we haven't quite paid attention to where it matters most. This is what is responsible for all the disputations we are having at the moment. the results at the polling unit, the party, did they collect copies? If they collected their own copies, anything can happen thereafter. It means nothing because the copy of results they collected at the polling unit are authenticated, countersigned by the presiding officer. So if the presiding officer goes to manipulate the figures, it will show. It will show at any level where and it will clearly be seen by whoever is checking at the math and the simple figure that the additions of the polling unit results are not what you are seeing at the ward, local government, and at the state, and ultimately at the national. So, for me, even the presidential election disputation, uploading the result or not uploading the result, if political parties collected authenticated polling unit results, all you need to do is to show, to calculate. It's 1, 2, 3 statistics. It doesn't change. It's not subjective. You collate if A is equals to B and B is equals to C and C is equals to D, A will be equals to B. So when you find that A is no longer equals to B, there is alteration happening between C and B and C. And I am worried because ordinarily this is what the Electoral Act has ensured, that you snap, you upload, you give party agents copies of the results, which is all they need as a matter of fact to go and compute their own figures differently. To the second side, and that's what the Electoral Act says.
Okay.
Once there is alteration from what has the result that emanated from the polling unit and uploaded in advance, once there is alteration, the result that is uploaded in advance from the polling unit takes preeminence and precedence. That is the Electoral Act.
Okay.
Point.
Okay, Dr. Mefo?
Sure that all political parties received their results there and then, and every other thing can be authenticated thereafter.
Okay, let's look at the results as it has been announced by INEC. Let's look at the pattern, for example. Largely, there's been no major upset if you look at the overall number. But we have quite some that has not gone to pattern. For example, PDP lost Sokoto to the APC. PDP lost Benue to the APC. But also the APC lost
Cross River as well.
Cross River. Cross River APC won Cross River State. And
that's what I'm saying. That PDP lost Cross River also.
We had a APC governor, so that's how I'm looking at it. What? Hello, sir. Okay, so what I'm saying is that perhaps the major upset is in Zamfara State, where we have a sitting governor who was on the ballot, who lost his re-election bid. How do we look at this?
For me,
Dr. Mefo, I think your line is a little bit...
Vote,
okay.
Counted to a reasonable extent. And the governor, it only shows that the people of Zamfara are not satisfied with his performance, and they choose somebody else. And it also shows that in this election, people are not too worried about political parties. They are worried more about themselves. And even though, of course, political parties' influence also played a role, because some states tend to cling to certain political parties. But where the governor or governors didn't do well, obviously, you will see that the electorate tend to move towards the opposition. And it's just that that of Zamfara governor is the one that came through now. There are others that came quite close as well. If you look at what happened in Kaduna,
that was very close.